Hi and welcome. This time around we've got a video on some interesting bits I've found. I'm sure the majority of you are familiar with clevis pins, even if you didn't know the name. Like I didn't remember the name clevis pin. I just knew it was a pin with a hole in it. That hole would either hold a cotter pin of the bending variety or a cotter pin of the self-removable variety. These all have limitations. One, the self-removable variety can be used more than once, but are supposed to be single use, so you toss them out. And they have really sharp bits sticking out that always seem to find your skin and claim their piece. The easily removable ones can pop out on their own, also have sharp bits sticking out. Clevis pins are used for flexible joints in non-critical applications, and you can use them to stick two things together. There you go. And two bits can slide past each other. The strength is based on the pin mostly, unless there's some longitudinal force on the pin, which then you can shear the pin inside. That's why they're used for non-critical applications. Like you wouldn't hold the wheel on a vehicle with just a pin and a clevis pin combination. That would not be considered safe. But for non-critical applications, you can get quite a bit of strength and hold two bits together. One limitation on the clevis pin design is that you have to have access to the back of the part so you can put the pin in and remove it. If you don't, and you can only push the pin in from this side, you can't really use a pin there in a blind sort of situation. Also, you've got the limitations of the cotter pins themselves, and those are problematic. Introducing a variation on the clevis pin that I've never seen called the SLIC pin. SLIC pin is an acronym. SLIC stands for self-locking implanted cotter pin. The two varieties are standard plunger with a flat sharp edge that's not easily removable unless you have access to this side, and you can push the spring-loaded plunger in, but they're not going to come out easily on their own. And the removable plunger. And on this guy, you can see there's a taper to it, and that taper allows you to pull the pin straight out. Now there is a variation on this particular item that I have seen in the past where they use a push button on one end and a pair of ball bearings on the other end for quickly removable parts. But this is another variation on it that's a really neat design. So again, these are for non-critical applications. You can use, this is 1/2 inch. I did this for the 3/8. So here's 1/2 inch. So to show the removable version, so you put it in and it holds pretty tightly. But with this one, you need a chamfer on the side there. Sorry, I need to go this way. With the chamfer, I can pull this pin right back out again. It stays pretty well, but with a little bit of force, I can pull the pin out. If it's a non-chamfered edge like that side, it tends to stick. And that's the removable type. Here's the non-removable type. See, I think this is probably just about the right length. So pop this guy through here. You see, you can't, even though this is chamfered, you can't pull that back out. And now these two parts are married together with, I would think, about as much reliability as a cotter pin. Don't quote me on that, but it's a really neat design. Again, with this one, if you don't have access to, if you only have access to the front, you're hosed because you're not going to get this guy out. However, if you do have access to the back, then this is a good option, and you can pull that pin straight out and separate your parts. Very easy to actuate and very handy to use. Again, if you have a blind version where you don't have access to the back, let me put it this way, this version of the SLIC pin can be pulled straight out. And that's pretty much it. I thought, I would introduce this because I had never seen it before. These are from a company called Pivot Point, and they make custom pivot SLIC pins specifically to order, but it's a really cool design. And check out their website, www.pivotpins.com. They did send me these free to evaluate. I was going to buy some, but they just make custom orders. So that really wasn't going to work for me. But if you're designing a project like a lift table with, foldable arms, these might be a perfect solution for you. Pop these through your legs. The legs can rotate just as if you'd used a clevis pin and a cotter pin, but much easier to remove. I think the ultimate are the push button ball bearing type, but I'm not sure the ball bearing type is a lot closer to this. They don't hold as well. You definitely cannot have a chamfer because they'll just pull right out. Like the easily removable version, the flat edge version doesn't pull out easily at all unless you have access, in which case it's very easy to get out. So pretty handy. That's it. This is a really quick video. Thanks for watching. Hope you find it useful. Hope to see you next time.